Can Kent Hughes turn Buffalo's goaltending mess into Montreal's salvation before Edmonton swoops in and steals the opportunity of the season? There's an old saying in hockey that one team's trash is another team's treasure, but what we're seeing right now goes beyond that tired cliche. This is about recognizing when a talented player becomes available not because he's failed, but because organizational dysfunction has created an opportunity. And right now, sitting in Buffalo, buried in a three-way goaltending rotation that serves nobody, is exactly the kind of opportunity that smart general managers dream about. His name is Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, and according to explosive reporting published today by renowned insider David Pagnotta, he's available. The question is whether Kent Hughes can move fast enough to beat the Edmonton Oilers to the punch. Let's establish the context, because context is everything in understanding why this deal makes sense. Montreal's goaltending situation is a disaster. We can dress it up with fancy words and talk about development curves, but the numbers don't lie. The Canadiens' combined save percentage sits at .877, good for 28th in the league. That's not mediocre. That's catastrophic. That's the kind of number that turns playoff contenders into lottery teams. Samuel Montembeault and Jakob Dobes are trying their best, but best isn't good enough when you're giving up goals at this rate. Meanwhile, in Buffalo, a completely different kind of crisis is unfolding. The Sabres have created a goaltending logjam that's suffocating everyone involved. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, who should be their clear number one, is stuck in a rotation with veteran Alex Lyon and young Colton Ellis. Devin Levi is waiting in the American Hockey League, banging on the door, demanding his chance. Nobody is getting enough games to find rhythm. Nobody is getting enough starts to build confidence. It's organizational chaos masquerading as depth, and it's killing the value of their best asset. This is where the opportunity emerges. Buffalo general manager Kevyn Adams has painted himself into a corner. He can't keep all these goaltenders happy. He can't give everyone meaningful playing time. Something has to give, and according to Pagnotta's reporting, there's legitimate appetite to make a move now, before Luukkonen's value deteriorates further. For Montreal, this represents a rare chance to acquire a young, proven goaltender at a discount price. These opportunities don't come around often. When they do, you have to be ready to act. So who exactly is Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, and why should Montreal be interested? Let's start with the basics. He's a 26-year-old Finnish goaltender who stands 6'5". That size matters in the modern NHL, where goaltenders need to cover as much net as possible. But he's not just big. He's athletic. He moves well for his size. He has the technical foundation to be a legitimate number one goaltender. At 26, he's entering what should be the prime years of his career. This isn't a reclamation project. This is a player who should be hitting his peak. The contract situation makes this even more appealing. Luukkonen signed a 5-year extension worth $23.75 million, carrying an annual cap hit of $4.75 million. That deal runs through 2029. In a market where starting goaltenders command $6 to $8 million per season, having a legitimate starter locked in at under $5 million is incredible value. For a team like Montreal that needs to manage its cap carefully as young players come off entry-level deals, this kind of cost certainty is gold. You're not just acquiring a goaltender, you're acquiring cap flexibility. The performance metrics tell an interesting story. This season, Luukkonen's numbers look modest. A 2.51 goals against average and an .899 save percentage in 8 games. But context matters. He's not getting consistent starts. He's stuck in a rotation that prevents any goaltender from finding rhythm. Look at last season, when he actually got meaningful playing time. 2.57 goals against, 910 save percentage. Those are solid numbers for a young goaltender on a mediocre team. Imagine what he could do with Montreal's improved defensive structure and offensive support. Tim Daniels' analysis cuts right to the heart of why this deal makes sense. This is a classic buy low opportunity. Luukkonen's value is depressed because of circumstances beyond his control. Buffalo's organizational dysfunction has created a situation where a talented young goaltender is available at a discount. The Sabres probably can't ask for much given the contract and current performance. That's music to Kent Hughes' ears. You're not giving up premium assets. You're giving up reasonable compensation for a player whose true value is much higher than his current market price. But why would Buffalo trade their most talented goaltender? Because they backed themselves into a corner with no good options. The logjam is real and it's destructive. Alex Lyon has been their best performer through the first 10 games of the season, making him the safe short-term option. Colton Ellis needs playing time to develop. And the real prize, the player Buffalo believes is their future, is Devon Levi. To make room for Levi next season, someone has to go, and that someone is Luukkonen, because his contract makes him the most tradable asset. The timing is critical. David Pagnotta's reporting suggests there's serious appetite to explore trades now, before Luukkonen's value drops further due to inactivity. Every game he sits on the bench, every start that goes to someone else, his market value decreases. Buffalo knows this. They need to move him while he still has significant value. That creates urgency, and urgency creates opportunity for teams willing to act decisively. Montreal isn't alone in recognizing this opportunity. The Edmonton Oilers are in desperate need of goaltending help. They rank 30th in the league with an .876 save percentage. Stuart Skinner isn't cutting it. Their championship window with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl is being wasted because they can't stop the puck. They need Luukkonen as badly as Montreal does, maybe more. This is a situation where Montreal can take their time and negotiate leisurely. This is a race, and whoever moves first probably wins. Montreal has some advantages in this competition. Buffalo would prefer to send Luukkonen to the Western Conference to avoid being haunted by him multiple times per season. That gives Edmonton a geographical edge. But Montreal has better assets to offer. The Canadiens have an abundance of draft picks and defensive prospects that Buffalo desperately needs. The Sabres want to solidify their blue line. Montreal can offer a second-round pick and a young defenseman without significantly impacting their organizational depth. Edmonton has already spent significant draft capital in recent years. They don't have the same flexibility to make competitive offers. The fit in Montreal makes perfect sense on multiple levels. Bringing in Luukkonen provides immediate stability. He could form a strong tandem with Samuel Montembeault, or potentially replace him as the undisputed number one. Either way, it takes pressure off Jakob Dobes, allowing the young prospect to develop properly without carrying the weight of an Original Six franchise on his shoulders. That's smart asset management. You protect your prospects while addressing immediate needs. The age alignment is another factor that makes this deal attractive. Luukkonen is 26. Nick Suzuki is 26. Cole Caulfield is 24. Uri Slavkovsky is 21. This core would grow together, hitting their prime years simultaneously. That's how you build sustainable success. You don't mix and match timelines. You align them so that everyone peaks at the same time. Luukkonen fits that timeline perfectly. The risk exists, of course. Luukkonen isn't a proven superstar. He's had injury issues in the past. His numbers this season aren't impressive, even accounting for the circumstances. There's a chance he comes to Montreal and struggles, that the change of scenery doesn't magically fix everything. But compare that risk to the certainty of continuing with the current situation. Montreal's goaltending is costing them games right now. It's preventing a talented team from reaching its potential. Doing nothing is the bigger risk. Buffalo is desperate to resolve their goaltending situation. Montreal is desperate to improve theirs. Edmonton is lurking, ready to pounce if Hughes hesitates. All the ingredients are in place for a deal that could define both franchises for the next 5 years. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen represents stability, value, and potential. He's not a perfect solution, but he's a real solution, available at a reasonable price, at exactly the moment Montreal needs him most. The crisis in Montreal has reached a tipping point. Continuing with the current goaltending rotation is accepting mediocrity in a season where the playoffs seem possible. Luukkonen represents a rare opportunity to acquire a legitimate starter with a team-friendly contract without sacrificing premium future assets. The Sabres are motivated sellers. The Oilers are desperate buyers. Kent Hughes needs to be faster and smarter than his competition. Bringing the Finnish netminder to Montreal could be the move that defines the Canadiens' defense for the next half-decade. The window is open, but it won't stay open forever. The time to act is now, before someone else recognizes what Buffalo is giving away. Should Kent Hughes go all in on Luukkonen? Or is there a better option out there that we're missing? What would you be willing to give up to solve Montreal's goaltending crisis? Drop your thoughts in the comments and hit that like button if you think this is the move that saves the Canadian season.